Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It's great to be here for episode 7. I'm so excited. I'm Jodie Fielden, and I'm joined here with my work wife, bestie, and business partner, Adrienne Varga. During these podcasts, we share with you how you can turn challenges into opportunities, overcome obstacles, and discover practical strategies to create your success.
Hi everyone, and welcome back. Today is a carry on from our last episode where we were talking about how we can bring change to the hair, beauty, and wellness industries, and how we can help salon and studio owners leverage their skill and elevate their business into the top 10%.
That's right. We were discovering the 3 areas most salon and studio owners have trouble with and how they can turn it around and break the statistics cycle, create their dream business because it's time to believe your business can be everything you ever wanted.
Absolutely. And the number one thing a business owner can do when they are looking for answers is look in the right places and asking advice from experts who have successfully scaled multiple businesses, not just once upon a time had a business and decided to give advice.
Exactly. You wouldn't be asking a fireman how to fix your plumbing in the house just because he's good with a hose. I mean, he might know water and hoses and how to turn a tap and look good doing it, but I wouldn't be going to him for waterproofing advice in my bathroom.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. We need to think about who we are asking advice from. For example, business owners think that they need more clients to make more money. And so they go creating their special offers and offering discounts to try to get new clients in the door.
Exactly. Or they're trying to boost their special discount offers on Facebook and Instagram. And you know what? It's really surprising how many salon and studio owners, I'm tongue tied today, um, that we've worked with, they can't tell us what their retention rate is or where they even found their clients.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't even understand, like why the clients they already have aren't enough, and they are too uncomfortable to find out why clients haven't come back either. And that's when I introduce them to our iceberg method.
Yeah. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go through and explain what the iceberg method actually is and what it does and why we created it because there's a method to creating a successful business and each step builds on each other and you have to have each step in the
Mm.
sequence if you're missing the step it just all falls over and it gets really messy.
Exactly, and all those steps are hidden, just like the iceberg we named it after. All the most important steps are in a specific sequence, and they are hidden below the surface, just like an iceberg. And people or business owners make the mistake of believing that what they see on the surface of the iceberg, which is like I just need more client, is their problem.
I know it's a bit like the Titanic sometimes when we look at it, like we see all these salons and studios and they've got all the bells and whistles, just like Titanic for the perfect voyage. They believe, they see the tip of the iceberg going past in the distance and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's all right." And what they don't see is that massive bit below the surface that hits and sinks them. I mean, because we've all seen those pictures of the icebergs, like how they're drawn with that tiny little bit above the top and then this massive expanse of below the surface. So I guess that analogy, I can never say that word. Can you say analogy? Can explain how that translates for their hair and beauty and wellness.
Sure, absolutely. So the majority of business owners in our industry are trying to find more clients, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So before finding out what's going on with the ones they have, and also why the ones they lost, and they left. So basically, it is, people are so focused on finding new clients that they don't even focus on the clients they already have. So this is the first problem, because we running the business, we have plenty of clients, and then like one day you wake up and you realize, oh, I didn't see Sally for such a long time. But then you go back to your record, and Sally didn't come back for 6 months. It's already too late to actually contact to Sally to tell, oh, I just noticed, like you didn't come back for your appointment. And
Mhm.
this is something which is extremely confronting because when we are working together with business owners, I do ask them to find out who didn't come back, and this is time to face the music. You do have to have a system around, and you need to find out why they didn't come back. And it's very uncomfortable. In the beginning, it's extremely uncomfortable when I ask business owners to do that. Most of them, they're like, I don't want to do it. Like I don't want to find out.
Yeah, it's not like giving feedback if you're going, well, it is for a chef and that as well. But I'm trying to think, there's a lot of things that, if you go to the movies and you can give feedback about that or whatever. Even with the chef isn't there face to face preparing the food. So people are more comfortable to give the feedback.
Yeah,
Um, but when you're in a salon and you get really, you're really close with that person and you're entwined in each other's lives, or
yeah,
it
yeah,
can feel that way. So it's harder to ask for feedback, um, when it's something that you've created that they're wearing and walking away. Or even
yeah.
for a studio owner, like you've been working with them intimately for their body.
Yeah, exactly the same. This is what I wanted to say. It's actually exactly the same for studio owners also. And this is when people are shy away for making the most out of the client till they already have in their system. And like instead of finding out why they left, why does what doesn't work, what they think, they just focus on the top part of the iceberg, which is I just need more client, I just find new
Need more
ones,
cli
I just going to bring in new ones. But the other thing is what we
Mhm,
really know, isn't it, Jody? That's your expertise. Like it's actually very expensive to bring into new clients. Is
mhm.
less expensive for us to actually
To look
get those
after the ones we've
feedback.
got.
Exactly. Make it right, like, and own it, like if we made any mistake, own it, make sure we have systems around it so it's never going to happen again. But, most people, they just say, I'm not doing the uncomfortable part. I rather just go into the comfortable one, running Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And again, that's your expert,
And they're
so you can
or
talk
they're
about it.
boosting the posts. Yeah, they're boosting their posts, or they're putting lots of energy into creating these reels on their feed to show how fabulous they are for, like, all the new clients, but a lot of the time, they're not even targeting the right people, like, the reels may be seen, but they're not potential clients. They're sort of wasting their energy on giving that whole Titanic, the shiny, pretty bells and whistles, and I guess with the iceberg strategy, what we teach is that it's one big picture. It's not just the the that surface level. Below the surface, there's 7 it's 7 stages, isn't it? Audrey, correct me if
Yes,
I'm
it's
wrong.
seven layers, seven
It's
stages.
7.
Yeah, but we need to get
There's
right.
7 layers. Yeah, and the importance of those 7 layers is that they must be in sequential order. You
Yeah.
can't work on one and then jump to another area. Each area has a time and place that it needs to be looked at. And the biggest part of our formula is that we show you where it has to go first. You can't start, getting feedback before something else. Like each one of them is the function, but and none of them is more important than the other. It's that they have to be done at the right time, I think is the most important thing.
Yeah. It's just like building a house. Like you wouldn't start with the
Mhm.
roof, you know? You need the roof
No.
eventually in the big picture, you need the roof. But you would start
Yeah.
with, digging the whole concrete, maybe a basin or a garage, and then you're going to
Actually, you
build
know
the
what?
wall.
Before you even do that, you're going to ask an expert. You're going to find
Exactly
a
to
builder that knows how to build your house. I guess that's where we come in, right, guys?
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
you
Or the
need to find
architect, the
someone.
architect. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they have the architect has the big picture, and then you need the builder that can come and say, "This is how the architect's vision can turn into a function." And then we get the tradies in that know what they're doing in each specific area of the build. And then we
Absolutely.
get, the roof guy, and then we get the landscaper in, like we don't get the landscaping done before we do the building because then it's just going to trash the garden. Like there's a method that we have to go through, and it's the exact same thing with a business. You need to go and find someone that can, go and talk to the architect and say, this is what this is,
Mhm.
clarifying what you want out of your house. And then the next step is, how can we build that? And
Yes.
people, we need to put those same um, logic into
Yeah, and
business.
if you think about it, like we were talking about this before, like we get into business because we love what we do. We love what we
Yeah.
do, we good at it, like as long as we are alone and we don't have staff or team to look after, because then it's another challenge going to come into it. But we go to the business, we love what we do, we love looking after clients, we want freedom of time, we want money so we can do whatever we want to do with the money.
Because it always
But
looks so
then
much better.
yeah,
I was just going to say, it always looks so much better when you're working for someone and you see the owner of the business and you're like, oh, it's so easy for them and they get all the money.
yes, yes. So that's the iceberg, what you can see as a team member, as a staff member, because you
Yeah.
can see we made this much money for Audrey, and look at Audrey is, I don't know, going for holidays,
On
but
holidays
then
again.
don't, yeah, on a holiday again. But what they don't see, like Audrey is working Saturday evening, Sunday morning, and Monday, the day of I'm paying, wages or whatever. So they don't see that. And once they step out and they step into business, this is where so many businesses in a hair, beauty, and wellness industry is failing, because we get into that business, we think it's going to be easy. We might saw a really good example, someone we worked for, they were really successful. And we imagine, like this is just easy because what we saw on the surface, it was an easy, seemingly easy task. And then we get into business and then we just like, okay, so this is not just about me have the skill, come into the business, and then clients going to show up at my door, and then I start to employ, and then I will know how to motivate my staff and how to manage my staff. So there is so many layers into it, and this is when it comes to under the surface of the water is the biggest part of the iceberg, when we were talking about the 7 layers. And it's, as you mentioned, Jody, it needs to be in sequence. You're going to make it perfect, because the truth is, like some of them, they cannot even be worked on, or you cannot even work on some layers without completing previous layers, because it's just not going to work.
That's exactly right. And the thing I want to point out is that if you're working for someone and you see that they don't have to work in the business very many hours, the business is making them an exponential amount of money. Um, you and they don't. They may not be spending 60 hours a week. They might only be doing 10 hours a week, but that's because they've got their business right and they've invested into learning how to have that business. It hasn't just. It's not because you know, uh, they're just plugging along, like they've actually invested in learning how to run this business so that they can live their life that they want to and be able to pay the wages for their team to be happy and live that life too. Um, so they deserve to be. My point is that they deserve to be able to make that amount of money because they've invested into getting to be there where they can make it. I think a lot of people resent some business owners that are really successful and have a very profitable because they haven't seen that everything that they've done, that unseen story about learning how to be a business owner. Those ones that are truly successful and in the top 10% that do have the freedom of time and all the rest of it, they've earned it because they've worked for it, like it
Yeah.
hasn't just fallen into their lap.
And it's never really an overnight success, like we were talking about this so much, Jody, like when people are saying, oh, like, it's just come overnight, you just become successful overnight. It is never, it's actually a lot of hard work in there. And we have the 3 months mark, we have the 3 years mark, and we have the seven
Hmm.
years mark. when like
Mhm.
that's really when people sort of tend to give up or give in. And that's very, very important to recognize, that success takes time and it takes learning. So we do need to get into the learning part also. We are in a creative industry, like wellness is exactly the it's very similar, more structured
Yeah.
than salons,
Yeah.
but it is the same, like it's a passion based, emotion based industry. And
Yeah.
we need to bring into the learning of structure in a way of running a business and understand numbers and everything else. And that's again come back to the 7 layers, which is
Mhm.
going to build a strong business. And those 7 layers are including like knowing numbers, looking after your team, creating a client journey. And the client journey is a really,
Mhm.
really important thing, which thanks God for now, like many people are talking about it, but can they get it right? Like that's another
Mhm.
question, because client journey is not just like a simple thing. Client journey is actually a multi-level thing what you need to get right, because you have client journey on multiple level. And the question is, when is my client journey starts? Like is it starts when people are walking in the door because they want to attend a class, or they want to have service with us? Or when is it going to end? Is it going to end when they leave the salon or the studio? Is it end there? Or do I need to do anything else? And what I need to
Mhm.
do? And that actually includes exactly, like if someone doesn't come back, like we need to monitor, are they coming back or they are not coming back, or we need to monitor which services are, or which classes are the most successful classes. And if you don't do that, you don't know anything about your business, you just swing it. And we know
Mhm.
that, like if you just swing your business, then what will happen? You just floating above water, and might seemingly you are doing okay, but you could do so much better. Like with a little bit of knowledge, you could do, and you could create for yourself an exceptional life, an exceptional business with freedom. And the freedom means, like many times people think freedom means that if I have a successful business, I don't have to work in my business. But my your freedom is that I want to just look after my clients 30 hours a week. And I don't want to do anything about team meetings or anything about numbers. Like it's really your success, or your definition of success is very personal. And this is what you need to understand. Many times people are trying to say, like, oh, you want a successful to work in your business, but what if you want to? And this is when you're going
Yeah.
to think about, how am I going to build that business when I can do what I want to in my business, and then I can find the right people to do the stuff what I don't want to do.
Exactly. It looks very different for some people. And you know what? Some people want to keep their business and move into different, but they want to be doing it outside of the actual bricks and mortar business. So they
Yeah,
want someone in there to run it so that they can either be educating,
yeah.
teaching,
Create
educating and
courses.
mentoring.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, building courses, um,
yeah,
however they want to expand on their skill set that's outside the bricks and mortar, and the bricks and mortar is what allows them the finances to do that, you know? So
yeah.
everyone has this very different view, um,
Mm,
and I think also, uh, we forget about our skill set is highly leverageable in both industries. You don't
yeah.
get stuck just having to be in the bricks and mortar. You can be wherever your passion takes you into the area of the industry, but you need to have the money to do it.
Yeah, and what we're witnessing with our clients, like some of our clients actually stepping outside of, running the business, and they're stepping into the education way, the education platform. We have a couple of salon and studio owners we're working with to setting up, like education platforms for them, and building, like the website, and we building their webinar funnels and everything else, because now they are ready to share their experience and their expertise. So when you are in
Mhm.
business and when you work on the business, many times happens, like you get your business right, and then you have other ideas, and then other opportunities are coming in, just like I had the other opportunities. I started to work with my first business mentor, and we got my salon right, and then I've got offered to purchase a franchise, and then I purchased the franchise. It was very scary because like I just finally like was like, "Whoo, my salon is working really well," and then I got the opportunity, and I saw such a great opportunity in to getting into education. And this is when I had two businesses run simultaneously. And then I had to create an exit plan for my salon. If, like, if I ever decide that, like, I'm going to focus on the other business, then I can cash out. So that's something I think which is very, very important. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is. A lot of the time as well, when we set up these businesses, whether it's beauty, wellness, whichever area, we're investing everything. That's our life savings. We're not packing away into squirreling into a superannuation or what do they call it over in America? Their 401k, I think it's called
Yeah.
there. Um, uh, we don't invest in our pension and our future that way. And so we plan that this business is going to be my retirement plan. But if it doesn't run without you, it's not an asset. You're the asset in your business instead of your business being your asset. So, it's really important to be able to make sure that it can run with or without you. And if you're an owner operator, then how can you, like, if it's just you in your business, how can you get that business to generate enough so that you can build into your retirement plan? Because,
Yeah.
you can't sell yourself. But there is a way, like, we're not saying it can't be done, it can be done. But you just have to make sure that your business can facilitate that because there's no, if you choose to just be yourself and not want to take team members on, that's
Yeah.
fine. We're not saying you need to
Yeah.
do that. Adriana and I both have done that before, and
Yeah.
it can be very lucrative. But you've got to make sure that you're building into your um, business plan of you being in there, so that you can make sure there's enough for it to be going into your retirement plan as well. Um, so yeah, just another food for thought. Getting off topic of the iceberg. Well, it's not really because
Yeah.
you need all those. You need all those
Exactly.
7 things, whether you've got a team of 10 or you're a
Yeah.
team of one. So
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
is
It
part of
doesn't really
that.
matter.
Mm,
It doesn't really matter if you have a team or not. Business is business. If you want to get your
mhm.
business right, you need to work on that 7 layers, and then your business is going to start to work for you. But you need to first work on those layers, and it's very, very important.
It is, and you know what? That brings us to the end of this episode. I
Mm-hmm.
can't believe how quickly the time's gone. I'm just looking at the timestamp going, "Oh, yeah, we've had a bit of a chat." But our next episode for next week, so what we'll start doing, I think what a good idea for us to do is maybe start looking at those layers because we've mentioned them a lot, but we haven't said exactly what they are. So how about if
Yeah.
we start that with next week,
Mm-hmm.
and we will do systems. So I think we'll
Wow.
go with
Okay.
systems.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's going to be a big one. And obviously it's very, very important. So when it comes to creating time for business owners or for when they are either thinking about selling their salon or taking their career in the new direction or just wanting to spend less time on the floor and more time with the family, this is when systems going to come very, very handy.
And speaking of time, before we run out of it today, our upcoming salon and studio empowerment training sessions are on. So you're able to registrations. I can't even speak today. So the registrations are free for only a short amount of time. Yes. I
Okay, that's a terrible pun, and I can't believe you went there.
Okay, fine. Back on a serious note, we are serious about breaking the cycle, and we have dedicated ourselves to helping 100 salon and studio owners and earners in their industry.
Yeah, you guys may remember if you were here the last episode. This is our club for all the business owners we have become a 10% top earner in their industry.
Exactly. And if you'd like to learn more about this and uncover our signature growth techniques and winning formulas, jump onto our website, www.focusgdt.com, and register there. You need to be quick because, like I said, it's only for a limited time and the timer runs out and it'll go back to being $97. So grab it while you can for free.
And also, don't forget about our quizzes. For salon owners, it's the Mastering Salon Excellence. When you take the quiz, you will reveal your signature growth formula and receive personalized salon success quiz report, which is going to be unique to you. And for studio owners, it's elevating your studio. And when you take the quiz, you will learn the secret to turning your passion into prosperity and receive your personalized studio success quiz report too.
Okay. And the links for that have been coming across on the screen below. So it'll be focusgdt.com/our links, plural. And before I forget, um, we will see you at our next episode. But remember to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And our
Mhm.
handle, if I can get this right and not get tongue tied again, is at focusgdt. No, dot com.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Overachiever, overachiever.
At
So,
Focus GDT.
yay, we've got it.
I got it.
So I think
Oh
that's
my
all
goodness.
for today, and we are looking forward, you guys, to catch up with you guys next time, and we're going to
Hmm.
dive into deep into systems.
Yeah, systems it is. And remember, it's time to believe your business can be everything you ever wanted it to be. You just need to look for the answers in the right place. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.